toe in the esports business, Blizzard was putting unprecedented effort and money into developing the Overwatch League, with a vision of one day rivaling traditional sports leagues in size and profitability. Upon release, Overwatch had immediately become a sensationally popular first-person shooter FPS video game. The game was novel in that it combined the best aspects of games like League of Legends, unique heroes with distinct abilities working on a six-person team, with the excellent gameplay, well-developed story, and rich artistic design that were hallmarks of Blizzard games. Brett had hounded the league's commissioner to help land this meeting, finally tracking him down at a whiskey bar in Shanghai. He took it as a good sign that Bobby, the CEO of Overwatch's parent company himself, was running it. Yet, however close he thought he was to landing a deal that'd give NRG a team in OWL, Brett needed the men he'd brought with him to see the light. And as a few bullet points from their resumes illustrated, they were not easy to impress. Andy Miller, one of the three NRG co-founders at the meeting with Brett, had learned to set high standards from one of the most famously demanding CEOs in history. Andy had co-founded an ad network company called Quattro Wireless in 2006, which he sold to Apple 3 years later for $275 million. Andy then worked directly for Steve Jobs for 2 years. After leaving Apple and running another tech company for a few years, he had an opportunity to acquire a partial stake in the NBA's Sacramento Kings and would serve on the league's internal digital committee. Shortly after, in 2015, he co-founded NRG. Mark Mastroff, another of the NRG co-founders, started 24-Hour Fitness in 1983 and sold it in 2005 for $1.6 billion. He joined the Sacramento Kings and NRG ownership groups in partnership with Andy. Jeff Glass, the final NRG co-founder, had sold his own mobile ad company for $250 million. As Brett said, these guys are geniuses. Why were these tech zillionaires meeting to discuss buying esports teams when they could have been doing anything with their fortunes? Though their answers varied, their passion for competition and games emerged frequently. "I just love sports," Andy explained to me. "I'm a kid from Boston who was obsessed with sports my whole life. I played it, I watched it, I wanted to own the Red Sox, still do. When I graduated, by some miracle near the top of my law school class, I had my pick of law firms, so I went to the firm that represented the Red Sox. When I got lucky and sold a couple companies and moved out here with some money, I bought into the Rockies minor league baseball team, the single A team in Modesto, the Nuts. And I loved it. Then I met up with Mark Mastroff and got involved with the group that was going to buy the Kings, and I wanted to run everything. Then I saw this opportunity with esports." For someone like Andy, who seemed able to achieve anything in his unlikely career, from startups to the Kings and now perhaps esports, it was important to always work with the best people. In that respect, he'd been anxious about Brett the first time they met. They'd planned a rendezvous in the theme building in LAX, but because it was closed off, they went to a basement employee cafeteria. Andy decided the relocation would be a good test to see how chill Brett was about chaos and change, longtime hallmarks, it seemed, of the esports world. They were somehow swiped through the cafeteria's security, assumed to be custodians, and enjoyed their grilled cheeses in what Andy described as a semi-abandoned setting. How did Brett dress for this big meeting with Andy? In what Andy described as a little hipster outfit that he would be, as NRG's resident hipster, lovingly mocked for frequently wearing. Beyond the dark sunglasses, it consisted of a button-down shirt with at least one button undone and a camel hair blazer. Andy would come to consider that this was his go-to blazer. A passion for the games he's helped build was also the reason Brett was meeting with Activision Blizzard and not toiling away at IBM's headquarters. He combined that love for actual gameplay with a love for business. In his role as president of NRG Esports, Brett had been able to impress the CMO of a Fortune 100 company and also shoot the shit with a teenage pro gaming prospect. In one sense, the bank account sense, Brett did not belong in Activision Blizzard's